Greetings, everybody. Another week, another time for us to get into the deep questions so we can just get to know each other a little bit better.
Get ready.
So, yeah, let's get on it. My name is Travis.
And I'm Peel, and this is the Travis and Peel Show.
Easily my favorite segment of the week, man. I love this.
Okay, Mondays, baby.
Yep, gotta love it. Gotta love it. So, like always, ladies and gentlemen, we actually pick up 3 cards from Let's Get Deep, Questions for Couples by What Do You Meme? And there are 3 different tiers. There are surface level icebreaker questions, there are deep questions, and then there are the all serious, deeper questions. And we're pulling them all 3 at random. Peel and I have never seen these cards, so it's just as much a surprise to us as it is to you, our dear viewers. So we're going to go ahead and pull 3. Icebreaker.
Here we go.
Deep. And, I pulled it from the wrong side. And here we go. So, we have our icebreaker. Deep.
En deux trois.
And deeper questions. So starting off with the icebreaker. All right. Coke or Pepsi? Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
Really? Wow. What a surprise. Okay, so
Why is that a surprise?
because Pepsi's garbage. It's garbage water. So you legitimately think that Pepsi tastes better than Coca-Cola Classic?
Well, I don't drink either of them. But
I don't either.
When
No.
I do have something, and if I have the choice, I like Crown and Pepsi
Crown
better
and
than I like Crown and
Pepsi?
Coke.
What kind of weird alternate dimension do you live in where like Pepsi is the go-to soda for Crown Royal? That's weird.
Hey man, I don't know. That's just my preference. That's what
I'm not
I
saying
like,
it's
and,
wrong or bad. I'm just saying it's unnatural to the human order of things.
So then I guess we know where you're going with this.
Yeah, I think Coca-Cola tastes better. You probably like clear Pepsi too, right? You're probably a big fan of that when you were a kid. No? Gin and clear Pepsi is the only way to go. That's what I like.
Yeah.
With just a hint of lime. Not too much lime, just a hint of lime.
This is just a squeeze.
Yeah, I like Coke. The only time any type of Pepsi products are acceptable, and we've discussed this, is at Taco Bell. If Taco Bell had Coke products, it would not be the same.
Almost one of my top 3 restaurants, so obviously I am partial to Pepsi.
Partial to Pepsi. Say that fast 3 times.
Partial to Pepsi, partial to Pepsi, partial to Pepsi.
Good man, my dude. All right, so that is our icebreaker question. We're out of here. Going on to the deep one. What things are you willing to splurge money on? What things are you willing to splurge?
What things? Well, that doesn't really
on?
narrow it down. That's painting with a very broad brush.
It is a broad brush. Broad brushes, that's something I would spend money on, by the way. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, especially really broad brushes. Electronics. I like electronics and gaming systems. Obviously, since we had the new gen systems roll out, everybody kind of went out and splurged. So I guess that's definitely something. Sushi. I'll splurge on some good sushi. Or food. Just food and it all matters. And what else to splurge? Yeah, I got the electronics. So that probably puts everything in. I don't know. Nothing else off the top of the head. So I'll splurge on electronics and good food.
So I'm with you there on both accounts. Huge gamer. So video game systems, video games themselves, especially with the advent of digital gaming becoming more of the norm, it is so much easier to just like be like, I feel like a new game and easily getting something. So yeah, splurging on new games is very, very simple. I jumped into video production about 7 years ago, and never really looked back. So I've always been accruing more and more hardware, accessories, cords, cables, mics, lenses, cameras, and things like that. So I've always been wanting to splurge on some good video production gear. And yeah, food as well. Food is a big one. Sushi is a big one as well. I mean, it's so hard, and especially now that we live in the times of COVID, whereas the majority of our food it's been required for us to either go pick it up, which I ain't doing that.
Curbside or delivery.
No, it's been delivery. It's been DoorDash or Uber Eats for days now, and
Shout out.
definitely been splurging on that because it's convenient, but it is definitely the more expensive route for food. I'm pumped that we're looking at like a May-ish timetable. Just so splurging on food is not as splurgy because doing DoorDash and things like that, it makes food, even like regular food, more expensive with delivery fees, service fees, and everything. So everything becomes a splurge.
Everything, that goes into that, just getting it delivered to your door 45 minutes after it was made.
Yeah, everything becomes a splurge at that point. So it's I'm happy to see that get pulled back a little bit and actually going and chilling in a restaurant and everything like that. So anything else for you to splurge on? I'm trying to think of anything.
Well, as you can see, I use all the money that I gain in my OnlyFans account to pay for my video production stuff. That's why it's so high quality.
That's why it's so high quality. It looks brilliant. It looks brilliant.
I need money.
We'll post links to Peel's OnlyFans right below.
Yeah, my OnlyFans. You guys join on there. I also accept Dogecoin.
Oh, Dogecoin. Yeah, absolutely. That is going to skyrocket. What? Okay. Sidebar. You have been posting a lot on Twitter about this Dogecoin. What the fuck is up with your your thing on Dogecoin?
Oh man, it's just a fun coin. Yeah. I'm here for the memes.
You're here for the memes? Okay. Do you have you think there's any legitimacy whatsoever, or is it more ironic?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's going to the moon.
Okay.
It's going to happen.
I somehow feel you're being sarcastic. I don't know. I can't.
I'm not. I'm 100% genuine about this.
Okay.
Buy Doge.
Okay, buy Doge. Okay.
Right now.
You heard it here first.
Much wow.
There we go. Much wow. Wow. And that was much deep. But my friends, it is time for us to get even deeper. So the big, deepest question of the night is going to be,
how deep we going, man?
Oh wow, this actually is pretty deep. What is something that you're insecure about?
Was that too deep for you?
What is something you're insecure about and why?
What is something you're insecure about and why?
Where do I start?
Deep do you want to go?
Where do I fucking start? For
ouch, game. I feel like you're attacking me.
Oh wow. So I have two things that really come to mind at first. One's major.
Okay.
It has gotten better in the last 4 years, I'm happy to say. I used to be so self-destructive in terms of identifying the self-worth that I have.
Right.
I would feel like I'm constantly making mistakes. And even if I was making a mistake, I wasn't allowing myself to make the mistake and then move on from it. I was just self-flagellating. I was self-flagellating and feeling sorry for myself and just expecting me to mess up more. And it affected many, many facets of my life. It affected my job performance at the time. It was affecting my marriage at the time. It is one of the core things that, when it comes to me playing my part in the end of my marriage, this was a core piece of it, because I just didn't feel good enough for a lot of it. I felt I was making too many mistakes. And that led me down. That started leading me down the path. It's not the main reason, but it started leading me down that path. So that is something that that was a real big problem for me. It has gotten better. I have found practices to make it more tolerable. I still suffer from this like once in a while, but I've had to work really hard on myself to be able to feel like I deserve certain things. And since I moved to Los Angeles,
overcome that crippling type, disability that kind of takes over you at sometimes when you feel like you're that down.
You ruin everything about yourself on your own. Like it's really destructive, and I know a lot of people suffer from it. And it was my Achilles heel for the longest time. So that's one
Well,
of
you've
the
come a long way,
things.
my friend.
Yeah,
And you're
yeah,
doing much better.
definitely. Because like it affects every facet of your life, man. It affects you professionally. It affects you emotionally. It affects the company that you keep. It affects like financially how much money you make. Because like the better you are here when you work on yourself, you can achieve more of those goals and everything. And it's those goals like there are things that in my past life that I would have been struggling with and probably struggling with to this day, and then changes that I've made here with coupled with the support system I had here when I came to Los Angeles that allowed me to take those steps. There was a lot of yeah, a lot of great things that happened here with that, and it kind of not eradicated, but it's almost to the point where it's almost rare that I have issues with self-worth. So I'm happy that that's something that's been rectified. So that's pretty deep. That's, you want to talk about numero uno for Travis. That's probably one of my biggest things. And I have some other things that I probably don't mind talking about, but what's one for you?
What was the question?
What's something you're insecure about and why?
What a dick. um, insecure about, I mean, obviously, just, weight gain. That's always been an insecurity by me, being like, chubby and, not in great shape. It's something I live with, it's something I work on. I am, currently now doing the same thing over the past, 3 weeks. I went down like 10 pounds. So it's
Awesome.
something that I want to improve about, not only just for, I want to look good naked, but I want to be happy. I want to feel good. I want to be healthy.
Live
So, I mean,
longer.
that's why,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I don't know about to live longer. I just want to be happy with what I'm doing right now. So just kind of go through it and see what happens and be, like I said, a healthier lifestyle and where I feel and look better. So that's the one thing I'm really insecure about. But other than that, I mean, I'm fine being a tubby piece of shit.
Yeah. Another one for me is you're beautiful, by the way, man. You're beautiful. Don't
You're
let anyone tell. I don't
beautiful.
think you know it, but you are a beautiful person.
Oh, I know it.
I and we kind of touched on this a little bit off air, just because a little inside ball. Like, we're actually friends in real life, so we talk a lot even after we record. So we discussed a little bit about things that I struggled with, like coming out of high school. I've always been very friend dependent, extremely friend dependent, and when you get older, that's almost an inevitability. The further and further you get from your social circles, you don't tend to speak to people who were confidants, close friends, brothers, sisters, whether it's blood or a figurative sense. And you start losing those connections, those connecting bonds, the things that carry you on when you're younger, because it's so easy to meet people and talk to people and learn about people when you're younger. And as you get older and you're so, some people are fixated on children, some people are fixated on work or whatnot. Those bonds are harder to not just connect, but they're harder to forge. Especially when you get in your 30s. Guys in your 20s, trust me, it gets worse. It gets way harder in your 30s to meet new people and stuff like that. I mean, you can try going like meetup.com groups and stuff like that, but that's even hard to like find a really
I mean, it also depends on your circles of, impressions, because it depends on where you're at, the kind of people, and then also the kind of person that you are yourself. So it is, a very particular, situation on how you, do have the opportunity to meet new people. Some people's, jobs, yeah, you're kind of not around a lot of people, or not a lot of people maybe of your same age group, but there are other jobs and stuff where you are close. Because, we're the same age, but I feel like I'm constantly making new friends in new situations, and I've moved around a lot too, but I'm a very face forwarding position and job. So I'm constantly meeting new people, constantly having those kind of interactions that aren't necessarily always business related, because I work food service. I'm a restaurant manager and everything. So I get to have those kind of interactions with everybody. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily just an age group, because there's teenagers too who are totally, not able to have the social interactions with people who also can't make friends. But it's not necessarily an age group, but it's the surroundings that you are a part of.
Well,
Your
when
culture
you're
is going to make up your ability to have access and to make friends.
right. Well, when you're younger, though, you are more thrust into situations where you are forced to socially mingle with people. Where at work, you're not necessarily forced to mingle with them. But going into like the hang up of mine and stuff like that was that I was so friend focused. Like I need, well, not just friend focused. I was dependent on the connections. I needed those people there with me. It was kind of hard to kind of like strike out on my own. On an emotional level, I always found myself in relationships. Always, like a lot of you guys were like just dating, like this, like with girls, like all the time and everything. But like I was always like looking for the next serious relationship. Like, what's the next what's the next ex-girlfriend that I can find and stuff. I was, and then like out of high school and past college age and stuff like that. Like it just. It was hard to meet people until I joined the video game podcast. And when I joined that podcast, it was already pre-established. So I walked into just tons of fan engagement, like off the bat. So that kind of gave me kind of like another opportunity of mine, which is like the need for like instant gratification. So I got that instant gratification from that, and I was just surrounded by a lot of fans of the show. I was constantly interacting with the other co-hosts on the show, and we were always doing things. I was living in Atlanta at the time, so we were always like every weekend, every other weekend, going out and doing things, or doing a house party, or going to the video game bar. So the social levels were really high. And then after the podcast ended, there was that void again, and I was just constantly trying to grasp at straws and trying to get the guys to like, let's have a gaming night, let's do this and let's do this. And then I started feeling bad, and like more depression would show up. Like, if I don't have my friends to hang out with me, what do I have? And then that kind of like spirals and stuff like that. So there's some insecurities there with establishing connections. And like I mentioned, we talked about this before. We talked about this this last week, that I'm so happy that we're doing this show, because it actually helps check that box. Because I was needing
and can be therapeutic.
Yeah, it's extremely therapeutic, and this is cheaper too than therapy, which is nice. So yeah, definitely a lot of insecurities. I got tons of them. I got a closet full, but
subscribe to Travis's OnlyFans, and it's completely different.
I have another. Yeah, I know. It's just me crying. It's really awkward.
just like drinking a glass of wine, crying in the shower.
There's a market for it, man. People love a sad boy crying. What's another thing? I got more. I'm fine talking about this. This actually feels good. What else can I talk about? I have insecurities about the way, the norm of how guys are supposed to hang out and be friends with each other. I've been having issues with guys wanting to just bust chops all the time. Like, they're friends that just bust balls, bust chops, and like just joke around all the time. And that is not me. And then I find myself doing the thing that I hate, that when that starts, I try to do it anyway. And then when that happens, it just escalates it escalates that attitude. And then once it escalates, I'm like, I shouldn't even fucking started. I shouldn't even tried, because now it's not the type of interaction and engagement with friends that I enjoy. I don't like it one bit.
Hey, fuck ass, get me a beer.
Like, I can't stand it, dude. Like, I don't understand like the mentality of just like busting balls and busting chops and joking around and stuff like that. Like, I just want to like sit and talk to people. I want to chill. That's just kind of the mentality I have. But
we don't
I
have
feel
to
like
call each other motherfuckers every 2 minutes.
I feel like I'm doing something wrong, because like everybody else is cool with that, but I'm not. So I'm like, am I the issue? Am I the problem? Like, I don't know. Yeah, it's just something like that aggressive type of friendly socializing. It's
interaction.
Yeah, it's just something that's never been a thing of mine, and it's affected relationships. It's affected friendships. Like some on an extreme level. But yeah, That's a big insecurity of mine right there. So there's a few from Travis. You've got to learn a lot about me. Do you have anything else on the top of your list, or are you just gonna sit there and continue to be fucking perfect?
I mean, I kind of am everything. No, and I mean, I'm really not. I mean, I face everything with how it is, and then I know I'm going to fail, and I just try to learn from it. I figured nobody's really going to like cry for me in other situations, and so I shouldn't do it for myself. And I've always had like a really weird connection with people in life in that kind of aspect. And I feel like I, grew up at a really young age, so I don't know. I guess I've just seen so much, fucked up shit that I'm just like, yeah, this is the world. And
okay, you see, which
is a whole nother problem, I suppose.
See, here's the thing. This is what I'm talking about. So now I feel, and this is real, this is happening live in real time. I feel like something's wrong with me. Because you're like,
I wouldn't say that.
Because you're just like,
there's plenty of people who have, these real life issues and things that trouble them and give them really insecure. And then there's other people who could give a shit less, and then there's really people who are in between. I mean, it's not like apathy or anything like that.
I think it's
the just expect
I think it's the opposite.
To go wrong. I hope for the best and plan for the worst.
I think it's the opposite. Is it empathy? Is it an overabundance of empathy?
It could be.
Because
everybody has different personalities. Everybody thinks, everybody learns, everybody does things differently. What goes on in between, right here is different from every individual, every person. And what goes on in here too is the same. It's going to be completely different. So people can relate and they come together, obviously, as like you and me and, all of our other friends and everything. It's just a different way for everybody, different folks, different strokes.
Yeah, there you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that has been Dig Deep for another week, and that is about as deep as we have ever gotten so far.
That was the deepest,
but that was really, really good. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any thoughts about the topics that we have gone through today, you let us know in the comments, whether it is on YouTube or Facebook. Facebook seems like it's becoming like the mecca for the Travis and Peel show now.
Everybody's coming together. A little happy family.
I don't hate that. We're like at 97, 98 members strong. Hey, there's like 60 of you guys that have not subscribed to the show, so we need to do that. Like, share, subscribe. You let us know.
Oh, yeah. Like, share, subscribe.
Let us know how you like that, how you like our show and what we offer, just by doing those three measly little small things, and we would appreciate it. So, for Mr. Jonathan Peel and myself, this is the Travis and Peel show.
Travisbaum.
We are out.
Later, y'all.